Welcome to This Explainer. As a digital forensics investigator, my entire life revolves around hunting for anomalies. I spend my days analyzing pixels, audio waves, data trails, basically trying to figure out what's actually real and what isn't. And today, I want to open up with a stark anomaly that honestly should send a chill right down your spine. In 2026, this piece of viral surveillance footage popped up near Interstate 95 in Florida. It showed a guy who the internet instantly dubbed Palm Beach Pete, and he looked exactly like Jeffrey Epstein. The obvious problem here? Epstein has been officially dead since 2019.
So as you can imagine, this footage triggered an absolute firestorm online. It created this incredibly tense debate. Is it actually Jeffrey Epstein or is it a deepfake? On one side, you had thousands of people genuinely believing a dead man was just walking around Florida grabbing a coffee. On the other side, people were convinced they were looking at a digitally fabricated ghost. And honestly, the very fact that we even have to ask this question is exactly why we need to unpack this case file today.
Now, the standard media response was super reflexive. It was basically, it's not him. He's dead. Stop spreading misinformation. But as an investigator assessing modern security vulnerabilities, I have to tell you straight up, that is actually the completely wrong conversation to be having. Whether that guy in the video is actually Jeffrey Epstein or not is entirely beside the point. The real danger here is what this situation reveals about the absolute fragile state of our digital reality.
Section 1. The Palm Beach Anomaly. Let's initiate our clinical case file review and look at exactly what triggered such a visceral reaction.
Clinically speaking, the man in that surveillance footage didn't just share a passing resemblance to Epstein. We're talking identical jawline, identical eye spacing, identical posture. It was these uncanny physical similarities that made this thing spread like wildfire across every single major platform in a matter of hours, racking up millions and millions of views. It was visually perfect enough to instantly bypass the natural skepticism of millions of people.
Section 2. Vector Analysis. The Deepfake Arsenal. Okay, let's clinically assess the current capabilities of commercially available synthetic media so we can understand how easily this could have been created on a computer.
Here is the terrifying reality of our current technological landscape. These aren't top-secret military tools anymore. This is commercially available tech. Want to perfectly clone a human face? You literally just need 3 photographs. Want to clone a voice so perfectly that it can bypass biometric security? Give me 30 seconds of audio. And to replicate full-body motion the way someone walks and moves? Feed some software a reference video and a standard consumer laptop can process the whole shebang in under an hour. The barriers to entry for digital cloning are practically zero.
But the real game changer is how this is actually deployed, through something called real-time replacement. We aren't just talking about a computer rendering a video overnight anymore. Publicly available tools can now take a live video of someone walking down the street and seamlessly replace them with someone else, frame by frame, in real time. Those old, clunky visual artifacts we used to rely on to spot fakes, the weird blinking, the blurring around the edges, they're gone. It is totally indistinguishable to the naked eye.
Now here's the number that actually keeps intelligence analysts awake at night. 2035. The capabilities I just walked you through, that's what you and I can access today. Government-grade deepfake technology, the stuff developed by state actors with unlimited black budgets, is estimated to be 5 to 10 years ahead of the commercial market. That means we are facing 2035 level capabilities right now, today. And the scariest part? We don't even know what that looks like. Because if we saw it, we wouldn't even know it was fake.
Section 3. Motive. Public reaction stress tests. So, if we treat the viral video as a synthetic creation, we have to ask why it was deployed and view it as a potential security probe.
The goal here is measuring misinformation spread, and this is exactly why public reaction matters so deeply when distinguishing between real events and synthetic footage. There's a very strong working theory in the forensics community that the Palm Beach footage was actually a planted video. A stress test. Someone, somewhere, wanted to see just how fast misinformation could spread across networks, and more importantly, how willing the public is to believe that a high-profile dead man essentially walked right out of a federal facility. They're actively studying our reaction times and our gullibility.
Section 4. The surveillance gap. We have to look at the specific unresolved security failures surrounding Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 death, which provided the ultimate information void for synthetic media to thrive.
Look, clinically speaking, the night of his death presented a perfect storm of anomalies. The surveillance cameras outside his cell, they failed. The guards assigned to monitor him, they reportedly fell asleep. The result is that the most high-profile prisoner in the entire country died without a single piece of verifiable physical footage.
And that perfect void of physical evidence creates an ideal, fertile breeding ground for synthetic media to exploit years down the line.
Because of that glaring gap in verifiable reality, there was massive, documented pushback regarding the official ruling of suicide. His brother, his lawyers, and get this, even the medical examiner who performed the autopsy all stated not suicide. Now, whether you agree with the official ruling or the skeptics, my job as an investigator is to point out that this lack of verifiable visual proof leaves the door wide open for manipulation. When the public already distrusts the official narrative, dropping a deepfake into the mix is like tossing a match into a powder keg.
Section 5. Synthetic Warfare and Geopolitics. Let's zoom out from the hyperspecific Epstein anomaly to the macro threat regarding how synthetic media might impact global political stability.
If you look at this timeline, it clearly maps out an alarming escalation. Back in 2022, we saw a deep fake of Ukrainian President Zelensky telling his soldiers to surrender. It failed, mostly because it was clunky and obvious. But fast forward just 4 years to 2026, and we get the Palm Beach anomaly, indistinguishable, highly viral stress tests. And looming over all of this is that 2035 timeline, representing the invisible, government-grade capabilities operating right now. The clunky failures of just a few years ago have rapidly evolved into absolute weapons of mass disruption today.
Section 6. The Prognosis. Death of Verifiable Reality. Our vulnerability assessment prognosis is severe. Modern warfare and social manipulation have fundamentally shifted domains.
And this creates a brand new global danger. For decades, intelligence agencies used physical false flags, but those are incredibly hard to pull off. They require real people, physical locations, and they leave real evidence trails that investigators can track. But a digital false flag, to fake a massive geopolitical event today, you literally just need a deepfake. Imagine a highly realistic video of a world leader ordering a nuclear strike hitting social media. It could cause irreversible market crashes or even retaliatory military strikes before human fact-checkers can even log in to pause the panic.
I really need you to let this reality sink in for a second. Your face, your voice, and your body can now be used to say or do anything. And as a digital investigator, I promise you I'm not fear-mongering here. This is the actual technology roadmap we are living through right now. Anyone's identity can be weaponized. You could be made to start a war, end a career, fake your own death, or even fake a resurrection.
So I'm going to leave you with one final stark question. Who do you trust? When literally everything you see, hear, and watch online can be seamlessly generated by a machine in under an hour, does determining the truth even matter anymore? Or do we need an entirely new way to verify our reality? Definitely something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Make sure you stick around because next week we are diving deep into the CIA's actual deepfake program. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. I'll see you then.